Because two former city officials from Baldwin Park and Commerce have pleaded guilty in a bribery scheme tied to Baldwin Park's cannabis permitting process. The U.S. Department of Justice announced the charges last week. Edgar Cisneros, the 42-year-old former city manager of Commerce, and Robert Tafoya, the 62-year-old former city attorney of Baldwin Park, admitted to their roles in soliciting and accepting bribes in exchange for votes and influence. Federal prosecutors allege the scheme began shortly after Baldwin Park started issuing cannabis permits, in 2017. Cisneros of Montebello accepted $45,000 in bribes to help secure a permit for a company, a move that reportedly netted him an agreement worth $235,000. In a separate scheme, Tafoya, a Redondo Beach resident, collaborated with former Compton City Councilman Isaac Galvin to secure permits through bribes for Galvin's consulting client. Richard Pacheco, a former Baldwin Park City Councilman, was at the center of these schemes. While he had already pleaded guilty to unrelated bribery charges in 2020, federal investigators say he orchestrated these bribes as well. Old habits die hard. Pacheco and another figure tied to the case, former San Bernardino County Planning Commissioner Gabriel Chavez, will be sentenced early next year. As for Galvin and his client, Yichang Bai, they faced trial in June 2025 after pleading not guilty to accusations of paying Pacheco $70,000 for cannabis permits. In a statement to KTLA, Baldwin Park City Manager Enrique C. Salvador emphasized the city's commitment to transparency and reform, citing efforts to ensure integrity in the cannabis licensing process. The FBI and IRS continue to investigate this matter as part of a larger public corruption probe. I fucking love to see it. We know this happens. We know there's a reason why certain people get permits and certain people don't. And we understand that if it's not a merit-based program, it shouldn't really matter. Well, it should matter who your licensing consultant is, but there are guys that you can pay a little bit more to make sure they can get some money in the hands of the people who can push those permits through for you. And I really am excited for them to probe farther into this. I think it's really interesting to me that the FBI and IRS have stuck their nose all into this, because you might get away from the DEA, you might get away from the city cops, the state cops, whatever. The IRS doesn't miss theirs. So I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about this, but it sounds like this gentleman has got quite a large amount of tax evasion if he's got all this money from these bribes. So throwing it back to you guys. Love to see it. Glad that we're finally having some accountability.
Man, it's amazing what happens when Trump gets elected. All of a sudden, there's all this government accountability all of a sudden. Shout out to Doge.
All right.
Saying. We saw it too happen in Boston with the arrest of that other city councilwoman. Now that wasn't necessarily cannabis related, but all these ones that you're covering today, Jenny Beth, these people were getting brown paper bags full of cash and just you know what I'm saying? Here, you get a license and you get a license, thinking that they're Oprah Winfrey.
It's amazing. It's amazing how you blame everything that you like on Trump and everything you don't like on everybody else. That's amazing too.
Hey, I just point out the consistencies, Rico. I just point out the consistencies, bro.
This man ain't even in office, and he's already cured cancer.
It's already happening, bro. It's already happening, bro. The world's already becoming a better place. Just the fact that people knowing that he's coming into office.
There's no more need for cannabis as medicine. You got Donald Trump in office, huh? Yeah, Jason.
I mean, you could always just go and just secure a bag of raspberry riots from ParityGummy.com. That would always cure your day, Rico.
No, I'll just pray to Donald Trump.
Pray to Donald Trump, bro. Ain't no one advocating for any of that.
Rico, what do you think about these? Rico, what do you think about these bribes?
Yeah, what do you?
Well, I mean,
you know a thing or two about bribes.
They pleaded guilty.
I feel you on that, bro. That's for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a couple of things. Number one, they pleaded guilty. Number two, it is City of Commerce. You know what I'm saying? City of Commerce and Baldwin Hills kind of has a history of that. West Coast Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's I don't know. It is what it is. It's politics, it's cannabis, and it's just ripe for intervention like these guys. And you know what? They got popped.
You know what I'm doing right now? Because you guys, I'm nosy as shit.
I don't know.
There he is.
What else you want me to fucking say about that shit? Like, dudes pleaded guilty and they got caught for the shit. Like, I just don't understand these politicians that get involved with this shit, you know, there's a fucking paper trail. Like, do people just not use cash?
They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't care, bro. I mean, in all fairness, a lot of people don't use cash. You got, you know, like restaurants like Sweetgreens and whatnot that are like credit card only and don't accept cash. And to me, I think that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, but nonetheless.
It's against California state law, but that's okay.
See, like, Jay-Z, I want to bring it back to the days where we had weed and Ziploc bags and we had cash and unmarked envelopes.
You could have just stopped at, we still had cash.
Well, not to mention, I mean, like, you know, these elected officials probably would have done a lot better if they would have just asked for a bundle of cash in a brown paper bag, and then when it did like that one guy and just threw it in his freezer. You know, we had that cold hard cash when the FBI raided his house and they found like $50,000 in cash in his freezer.
Literally cold hard cash.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Keep it on ice. You know what I mean?
Me and you, Jason, we over here waxing poetic and everything, man. Bring back the old days where motherfuckers covered up their tracks. Like old boy got popped for that UNH killing. I refuse to call it a fucking assassination. Like, dude ain't a fucking president. No, nothing in the killing, and because he left a fucking paper trail. Like, these motherfuckers just sloppy these days. Whatever happened to Unsolved Mysteries, man? With all of the nanny state. CCTV everywhere and all this, like, fools are getting popped for the same shit that they would have gotten popped back in the old days.
Rico, you're gonna love this.
Go for it, Jenny.
I did some digging and I found the case for 2023.
Oh, is that right?
The federal bribery trial of a former Compton councilman and his co-conspirator was postponed until April of this year.
Is that Isaac?
Isaac Galvin and Yicheng Bai are facing federal bribery charges. They paid $70,000. So this guy's got a price. His standard ticket is $70,000, it sounds like, to a member of the Baldwin City Council.
Hey, you know, it's good to have a standard price.
Was a big story. Yeah, that I remember that one. That was a pretty big story. And I would not be surprised if, you know, whether it's in cannabis or other sectors, like, he was just doling out shit, man. Like you said, Jenny Beth, he had his price, and motherfuckers had that. They dropped it off.
Well, and this was also the same deal in exchange for votes and cannabis permits.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And if they're convicted, by the way, Galvin and Bai would both face a statutory maximum sentence of 5 years in federal prison for the conspiracy count and up to 10 years in federal prison for the bribery count and up to 20 years in federal prison for each honest services wire fraud count.
As soon as he gets out, he will be a pundit on Fox News.
These guys were wiring the money. Like, you were act like you cared about getting caught. Damn.
Hey, I mean, you know, I'm not.
So say those all run concurrent, right? Concurrent. 20 years.
They will all
still
run concurrent.
Kind of sucks. Still kind of sucks.
It does. You have any thoughts on this, Saman? You're out there in the great state of New York, the land of corrupt politicians. Out there, you know what I mean? Out there with Kathy Hochul, and you know what I'm saying? I think you're on mute.
America is the land of corrupt politicians. Let's keep it a buck.
I think you're on mute, Saman.
America is corrupt politicians. Run them up.
I mean, you know, it's funny. Look, I travel around this great city. I see statues of pioneers who started whatever in this city. And it's amazing because
rapists and slave owners.
It's like the stuff that's said about these people. Who knows who actually did what? But we know that the building of America is a pretty interesting story.
Yeah.
One rife
it's a tapestry.
One rife,
it's the greatest country in the world.
Rife with violence, rife with bribery, rife with, you know, wheeling and dealing of the political
corruption
classes. So look, I don't think that it's a surprise to any of us. This country was built upon, you know, treasonous traitors who left England to start their own.
Those are freedom fighting patriots, bro.
Yeah, patriots. But let's you know, not forget that they did leave England because of the unjust taxation.
Yeah,
no, they didn't.
Exactly.
So No. Stop trying the revisionist history.
Stop. That's not a revision of history.
Hold on. If you look into the shit that found the old Boston Tea Party and all that shit, these motherfuckers were a bunch of these motherfuckers were a bunch of whining ass Karens and fucking Chads. They were paying a tenth. The absolute minimum of any kind of taxation, and they were just like wilding out and complaining about that shit. Like,
it's not wilding out and complaining.
No, I had it because I looked at the
ship and come across the ocean.
The crazy. I'm gonna send y'all a fucking link to the real story of that shit. These motherfuckers just wanted to break free. They was wilding out. They were only like 30 years old, each of them, like all of them. They were just like, yo, fuck this, fuck our parents, fuck our grandparents. We out this bitch.
I'm about that life.
The whole like non-taxation.
Sounds like they weren't down with the way their grandparents and their parents were.
Yeah, no, they were just like it really wasn't that big of a bill, and they weren't really getting pressed like that. They just wowed the fuck out. Like,
you know what?
People forget George Washington was only like 32 years old when the whole thing went down.
There's to say that Rico that we aren't that oppressed, but that our wiling out isn't justified is wrong, bro. That's a wrong statement.
Rico, you know what Reagan used to say about Plymouth Rock, right?
What is this in the pre-dementia days?
No, stop. Be nice. Reagan was a fantastic president.
It's a real
So Reagan used to say about Plymouth Rock that if Plymouth Rock was on the West Coast, the East Coast would still be uninhabited.
I'm more of a fan of Malcolm X's comments on Plymouth Rock.
Of course you would be. Of course you would be. You want to throw a quote out there? Malcolm X?
Yeah. Which one do you support?
Yeah, which one?
What's
your favorite? What's your favorite quote about Plymouth Rock with Malcolm X?
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. That's it.
Yeah. Yes,
oh boy.
I was waiting on Rico.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rico. I think Rico forgot it. That's why he didn't say it.
Rico.
I got that shit tattooed on my lower back.
You got a tattoo? You have a lower back tattoo, Rico? You have a lower back tattoo, huh? You got a tramp stamp?
You got a tattoo of Roy Orbison on your ass, Rico?
I got that shit. I got a quote down there, and it got the brand hands underneath it, and it got tribal fucking designs around that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow, so you appropriated a whole culture and community to make your tramp stamp.
I'm glad that's what you got out of it.
Hold on, Jeremy Craney in the chat says Rico got a Black Panther tattoo on his butt cheek. The question is, do you have the fist up like in between the cheeks?
Whoa, Jason, whoa, bro. This is a family show, bro. It's a family show, okay?
It is not. That is a possible.
I'm so triggered by that.
You guys.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
That's
crying over here. It got tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
But why do they call them tramp stamps instead of lady tramps? Because it wasn't Lady the girl.
Yeah, it was lady. The lady was the tramp. And it's Disney, Disney is always trying to perpetuate a bad shit on kids.
I thought it was like Lady and the Tramp.
Just because I know they like to misappropriate shit. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be Lady the Tramp, but someone wanted to throw an "and" sign in there.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Disney's always fucking shit up, bro.
I know.
Look how they did Aladdin. Come on now. Come on.
See, look. Of course, Saman bringing in Aladdin.